In this video, we're going to practice designing an algorithm to solve a problem. The question asks us to write a program that prompts the user to enter their favorite color. After receiving their favorite color, we should print the value blue if their favorite color is blue, or red if their favorite color is red. And in all other cases, print not blue or red. So our first step in solving the problem is to fill out an IPO chart where we include the input, the processing, and the output. So in this program, we need to identify the input. That's the part that the user is supposed to enter. So it tells us the user is supposed to be prompted for their favorite color. That's the input. The output is the message that's printed as a result of this program. So in this case, it's supposed to print blue, red, or not blue or red. Message about color. And then the processing step tells us how we can algorithmically take the input to produce the output. So in this case, we want to examine if the input is blue, then we want to print blue, or make the message blue. We'll say that message equals blue. Else, if the input is red, we want the message to be red. And else if, or just else, in all the other cases, we want the message to be not blue or red. This is a good plan for our program. We've identified all the logical steps we need to solve this particular problem. The second part of the question asks us to design input for this case, so an example test case. We have to say, what would we type in to test our program, and what would we expect the result to be in this case? So I'm going to test it with the value green. If my favorite color is green, I expect the output to be not blue or red. If you made your example input blue, that's also completely fine. Your example output would be blue in that case. And if you made your input red, then the output would be red for that case. If you had any other non-blue or red color, then your output that would be expected is exactly the same as what I have here. And then finally, we want to write the Python code for this. I'm going to do that in idle. You're always welcome to do that in problem-solving questions where it asks you to write code. So the first thing I need to do in my example program is prompt for the input. So I'm going to say color equals input. Please enter your favorite color. And now I'm going to include my if statement. If the color that they entered is equal to blue, and remember you have to put two equal signs to test equality, then I want to make my message equal to blue. Else if the color that they entered is red, then I want to make my message red. And then finally, in all other cases, I want to make my message not blue or red. Excellent. So I'm going to save that program and try to run it. I think it might want me to add one more line. We'll see how it goes. So if I enter blue, doesn't do anything. Why is that? Oh, because we forgot to add the print statement. So at the end, we want to be able to print the message. Let's try it again. So if I enter blue, it prints out blue. Excellent. What about my test case that I designed? If I type in green, it prints not blue or red. Let's try it with red. If I type red, it prints out red. Fantastic. Looks like we successfully did that. It asks you to test the software. Use your test input above. The one with green is the one I designed. And then record your actual output. So in my example, it printed not blue or red. And then how many more test cases would you need to ensure that the program's output's always correct? We'd want to run it with at least 3 test cases. Here's my Python program. And that's because the conditional statement that we wrote has 3 branches. So we'd want to have at least one input that tests branch 1. We'd want at least one input that tests branch 2, and then at least one input that tests branch 3.